It is time to answer some questions that people leave in the comment section of my videos. If you have asked me something, stay tuned. There are lots of questions. I love it. And I am going to answer them here, so stay tuned. I am Dr. Tanji, the Sex Doctor, board certified clinical sexologist, and always so happy, eager, and willing to answer all your questions about sex and talk about all matters of human sexuality and sexual health. Welcome to my channel. I would like to ask you for a great favor. Please subscribe. Your subscription is free for you, doesn't cost you anything, but it helps greatly. The algorithm tends to hide my content instead of showing it to people because it doesn't like sex topics. But we do, and we want to talk about sex and we have nothing to hide. So do me a great favor right now and click on that subscription button. You may also become a member of the Sex Intelligent Club for exclusive content not available here. So again, please take your finger, takes 1 second, just click, subscribe. Thanks. When I masturbate 2 to 3 times a day or daily 1 time, and after that day, when I poop, bleeding happens. That must be very scary, and I am not qualified to answer that question, so I strongly recommend that you see a medical provider in your area as soon as possible to figure out what's going on. Bleeding out of your anus and finding blood in your poop is definitely a good reason to see your doctor as soon as possible. I'm a Black American and my wife is Filipino, and the problem we have when we have sex is painful for her. What sexual lubrication do you recommend? I'm kind of too big for her. Thank you for asking and caring about your wife's pleasure and experience during sex and wanting to fix the problems you are having and facing today. I strongly suggest that your wife goes to her OBGYN to get checked and refer to a pelvic floor specialist for further evaluation on her painful penetration disorder. Painful penetration can be due to lack of proper lubrication, as you stated, lack of sufficient foreplay, and therefore sexual arousal, having sex that is too rough or too fast, and can also be due to other anatomical causes such as vaginismus, which is the involuntary contraction of the pelvic floor muscles during sexual activity, and it makes it difficult, painful, or even impossible to penetrate the vagina. Continue to communicate with your partner. Engage in lots of foreplay for at least 20 to 30 minutes before you get to penetration. Get her all warmed up and ready. Let her lead you to her when she is ready and make it very, very slowly for her. You may use coconut oil, and if you're using a condom, use water-based lubricants available in the marketplace. I'll leave some brands that I like in the shop section so you don't have to guess for the best lubes out there. But definitely, if the problem persists, encourage her to seek professional help. Sex is not supposed to be painful. I went to a nude beach in St. Martin, and we were shocked at the size difference between the races, specifically the Black men. They were massively bigger than white and Hispanic men. My wife has been teasing me about it and how the big black cock myth is true. Is it actually true, or was that an unlucky day for white guys to go? Great question that deserves a discussion. Penis size varies per person, and not all people within the same ethnic group will have a specific type of penis or penis size. Just for reference, according to the National Institutes of Health, the average erect penis length is between 5.1 and 5.5 inches, and the average flaccid penis length is 3.61 inches. And just to clarify, the size of a flaccid penis doesn't predict its erect size well. Smaller flaccid penises tend to actually lengthen more than larger ones when they erect. So you can have a penis that looks rather small when it is not erect and then grows massively upon arousal. This is what people call growers, not showers. That being said, here is what some studies show. A 2014 study of over 1,600 men found that Black men had the longest average penis length, followed by Pacific Islanders, Hawaiians, white Americans, Asian Americans, and Native Americans. Another study of Brazilian men found that Black men had larger penises than white men, but the difference was only a quarter inch. Other studies have pointed to the differences in penis length and diameter, positing that Black men have the longest penises, white men have intermediate sized penises, and Asian men have the shortest penises. Let me clarify that studies on penis size rely on self reported data. Scientists are actually not going around with a measuring tape trying to get men to volunteer to measure their penis size. Therefore, you can imagine the level of bias that the topic of penis size has. I would dare to assert that the self reported numbers are inflated, no pun intended, and we have to be careful with the stereotypes and trying to pigeonhole people into a penis size category based on their looks. And to be fair, to how many nudist beaches and places with a mix of races have you been to? Maybe you saw a lot of big Black cocks because there was a majority of Black men all around you. Next question. If you're a lesbian and had genital warts from low risk strain HPV in the past, and there has not been a reoccurrence of genital warts in 5 years since removed, does that mean you have cleared the virus? Or if it's just dormant and can still be passed to your partner? Excellent question. And thank you so much for asking. The short answer is no. Even if genital warts have been cleared for 5 years, that does not necessarily mean that the HPV virus is completely gone. Although most HPV infections clear within a couple of years, the virus can remain dormant in the body and still be transmissible even without visible warts present. So you could still potentially spread HPV to a partner. There's currently no cure for HPV, which is actually a series of viruses within a class, not just one virus. There is currently no treatment that can completely eradicate HPV, which means that the virus can still be present even if warts are not visible. HPV can become dormant for extended periods of time and not cause any symptoms or visible warts for a while. If you're concerned and to accurately determine if HPV is still present, a specific HPV test is needed, and don't just rely on the absence of visible warts. So talk to your healthcare provider about it. I haven't had sex before, and now I have someone special. Congratulations. Does sex hurt? This question comes from a gentleman, and thank you for asking. The answer is no. Sex should not hurt for either of you for the first time or any other time for that matter. If sex hurts, something that needs your attention is happening to make sure that both of you have a positive experience. When you decide to have sex for the first time, follow these steps. Talk about it. Don't be shy and talk about sex openly and without any shame. Ask questions. Foster an environment of trust so you can both share and disclose anything to each other without judgment. Talk about expectations, boundaries, and consent. Share what you envision you like and what you both would like to experience and experiment with. Be open and candid at all times. Get educated. Both of you should know your anatomy and how each sexual part works. But don't just focus on your body parts. Both of you should learn about the other person's anatomy and ask questions that pertain to how those body parts work for each of you specifically. Focus on intimacy, openness, closeness, connection, trust, vulnerability, and respect are the pillars of intimacy. Listen, validate, honor your word, be curious and open to explore this new landscape together. Foreplay. Sex is not penis and vagina. Sex is all the things that happen before and even after that. Kiss, Hug, caress, spoon, lick, suckle. Use your hands, your tongue, lips. Express your desires verbally and your feelings as you delve into the erotic and co create the sexual experience together. Be sensual, playful, curious, joyful, creative. Follow each other's lead. Maintain communication as you go and stop or change course if anything feels painful or uncomfortable in any way. You should be fine, but if sex is not working out, seek professional help. How much does sex cost to have sex with me? This question came from a gentleman, and wow, aren't you bold? I would hope that you have other options for sex that do not include me. Unfortunately, I am not in the market, especially for you. Thank you for asking, though. Is it safe to taste a woman's urine? According to the World Health Organization, pathogens contained in urine rarely pose a health risk. However, there could be parasites that can be passed on from urine to another person. These parasites, though, are usually found in specific places in the world, but do your research before you imbibe. Urine also contains waste products, could contain bacteria in the case of an infection, and sometimes residues of medications, which can be harmful if ingested. So, know your source before you taste someone else's urine. And if you do, moderation is a good advice. Is frequent masturbation bad long term, 2 to 4 times a day? I have been asked different versions of this question many times. My answer remains: if you have the time, energy, stamina, and can still maintain a normal life, work, other relationships, your personal hygiene, and a healthy lifestyle, otherwise, your body belongs to you. Masturbation and frequent ejaculations may have a protective effect on the prostate long term, so the more you flush the pipes, the better chances of having a healthy prostate later in life. Just enjoy. Thank you for your questions and for listening to this episode of Amas. Ask Me Anything About Sex, this new edition. There are many more questions and my answers coming, including why do legs shake after sex? And what is small penis humiliation? Stay tuned for the next episode of Amas. This is Dr. Tanji, the sex doctor, and as always, I wish you safe, healthy, and pleasurable sex. See you next time.